welcome to week 2 of Herb Appeal Trivia, the show that proves once again that you can have a banana in your pocket and be happy to see someone. My name is John Cheswick, and I run Herb Appeal Tours. If you're not familiar with Herb Appeal, we're the #1 tour company in Detroit, according to my mother. My dad still prefers backseat. Joe Kraus! If you're concerned that Joe Kraus is going to see this and be offended, don't be, because he's legally blind. There's a reason why it's called backseat and not driver's seat. Just kidding. Well, not kidding. He is legally blind. But he played last week and actually did really well. All right. Before we get started, I would like to give a big thank you to our sponsor, Jessica Bondolapati, and her company, Lady Bondo LLC. If you're not familiar with Lady Bondo, it is a consultancy for businesses big and small. So if your business would like to become a sultan, like the lovable oaf from Aladdin, go ahead and hit her up.
Are you saying sultancy?
Yeah, sultancy.
I think it's consultancy.
Consultancy? Yeah, consultant. That makes a lot more sense. Well, if you would like to have her take you to the next level and become the sultan of your industry, be sure to hit her up. If you would like to be a sponsor in the future, hit us up at hello@herbappealtours.com and you'll get a ringing endorsement like the one you just heard. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to Sarah and Nick, my very good friends who are helping out here behind the camera. They're nice enough to not only help me out with my little show here, but they also live below me and are very accepting for my penchant to salsa in high heels. It really makes my calves pop.
Pop, pop.
Thank you, Magnitude. All right, let's get started with the trivia. But before we do that, make sure to play. You go to crowd.live/herbappeal. So today we are going to be playing 2 games. They're going to be 15 questions each. The faster you respond, the more points you're going to get, so be quick. The person with the most points at the end of each game is going to win the game, and the top 3 are going to get some great prizes. Third place is going to get $5 to Boro Resale, which if you're not familiar with, is a fantastic resale shop in the Eastern Market area. But right now, obviously, they can't be open to customers, so they're doing a lot of stuff online. So in the description right now, you should be able to find their Instagram and Twitter and all that kind of stuff handle. Second place is going to get that same $5 from Boro, and also $5 to Golden Fleece, which if you're not familiar with that, it is my personal favorite Greek restaurant in Greektown, which is saying something. And now first place is going to get both of those gift certificates and a gift certificate to a free walking tour with yours truly. All right, we're going to get right into it. Question 1. In what year did the Ambassador Bridge open? Was it A, 1935, B, 1929, C, 1926, or D, 1925? Sorry, B was supposed to be 1929. So a lot of big years there. First half of the 20th century, pretty well represented. But the answer is B, 1929. 29 was a big year for the city of Detroit in terms of openings. You had the Fisher Building, the Guardian Building, and the Penobscot Building opening up. Unfortunately, that year, the stock market also crashed, kicking off the Great Depression. Womp womp. Yes, I just womp the Great Depression. Those of you who follow Herb Appeal Tours on social media had a leg up on that question, as I gave some clues throughout the week. And if those of you that aren't, you should do that now. And also, while you're at it, go ahead and click subscribe on YouTube, because that'll really help me out. Moving on to question 2. What Michigan interstate has a section called Jeffries Freeway? Is it A, I-275? Is it B, I-75? Is it C, I-94? Or is it D, I-96? So, do you know your roads? Do you know your Jeffries? Either one of those will help you out. But the correct answer is D, I-96. It's named after Edward Jeffries, who was mayor of Detroit from 1940 to 1948. So he was our wartime mayor there. All right, we got 2 questions in the book. We're going to go on to question 3. How many people mover stops are there? Is it A, 13? Is it B, 11? Is it C, 9? Or is it D, 7? Ridden the people mover lately, which probably you haven't because I don't know if it's running, but this might help you out. Or if you've read in the past, you'll know that the answer is A, 13. While 13 is my favorite number, it's way too many stops for a 3-mile track. It takes forever. All right, we are 3 questions in the books, so we're going to take a look at our leaderboard here. In 3rd place, we have Eric Schmeling, who was already talking crap in the chat right before the game. In 2nd place, with 213 points, we have Will McDowell. And in 1st place, we have Baby Houseman with 265 points. Baby Houseman coming straight out of the womb, no one questions. I love it. I love it. This is a true champion there. Also, before we move any further, one thing I neglected to do before we got started was say a very happy birthday to Sarah's mom, Denise. So if you're at home, sitting and watching, happy birthday. Hopefully you're having a great one. All right, let's get back to the trivia here. Question 4. In what year was Mike Duggan first elected mayor of Detroit? Was it A, 2016? Was it B, 2015? Was it C, 2013? Or was it D, 2011? Mike Duggan, current mayor of Detroit, was elected in 2013. So we are 7 years in. I think he's doing a fine job as mayor. However, one time I was at a Detroit event and one of his entourage bumped into me and did not say excuse me. So you be the judge. All right, we're going to push through here just like Mike Duggan's entourage did. All right, question 5. In 1919, the first 4-way 3-color traffic light was installed at what Detroit intersection? Was it A, Woodward and Michigan? Was it B, Michigan and Trumbull? Was it C, Woodward and McNichols? Or was it D, Cass and Warren? Some very major intersections there. You've got Old Tiger Stadium, you've got Wayne State, you've got Campus Martius. Which one could it be? It is A, Woodward and Michigan. It was invented by a police officer named William Potts. I believe he was aided by his partner on the force, Philip Pans. Pots and Pans. That joke written by Mr. Nick Bernbeck, which still makes me laugh. All right. You guys having fun? If so, let me know in the chat. But before I can check that, we're going to go on to question 6. How many locations does Bucharest Grill have? Is it A, 3? Is it B, 6? Is it C, 5? Or is it D, 4? Bucharest Grill, known for their shawarmas, known for their curly fries. I think we have a plan of getting that after the show tonight. That's what we're doing. I don't know what you're doing, but you're not invited over because we're in quarantine. All right, the correct answer is C, 5. If you got that one wrong, you need to bring me a chicken shawarma and curly fry immediately. If you got it right, you need to bring me a chicken shawarma and curly fry immediately. But drop it off at the thing. Again, we're in quarantine. All right, that's another 3 questions in the book. I can't believe it. Time is flying. We're having fun. Let's take a look at this leaderboard here. All right. Oh, we got a little mix-up here. Robbie Lynn jumping up to 3rd place with 316 points. No surprise there. I know Robbie's a very smart man. Will McDowell, another smart guy I know, 354 points. And still in that lead is Baby Houseman with 496 points. It's anybody's game still. We got a lot to go. Who can catch this Baby Houseman, whoever he or she may be? You guys ready for more trivia? Because I know that I am. Let's move on to question 7. Wayne County, Wayne State, and the city of Wayne were just some of the things in the area that are named after Anthony Wayne. What was his nickname? Was it A, Mad Anthony? Was it B, Warrior Wayne? Was it C, Amazing Anthony? Or was it D, Wacky Wayne? Anybody know the answer to this? Hopefully you do. Some of you might not. That's the point of playing. Let's find out. The answer is A, Mad Anthony. He gained the nickname from his fellow soldiers for his tactical bravery and courage. I gave him the name Wacky Wayne because I like to imagine him having a penchant for practical jokes and wearing tie-dye shirts. I highly doubt that was the case, though. All right, moving on to question 8. Believe it or not, there's an NFL team with a longer championship drought than the Detroit Lions. What team is it? Is it A, the Cleveland Browns? Is it B, the Arizona Cardinals? Is it C, Washington Redskins? Or is it D, Miami Dolphins? This question is brought to you by last week's champion, Pete McGrath. I have a sneaking suspicion it might be Baby Houseman, but we'll have to find out that later. All right, so do you guys know this? Because I do. The answer is B, Arizona Cardinals. May God have mercy on those poor fans' souls. All right, moving on to question 9. In what Detroit club did Barbra Streisand get her start, or start her launch her singing career? Was it A, Colony Club, B, Buell Bar, C, Caucus Club, or D, Cliff Bells? All fine places to go in downtown Detroit. I've been to all of them. Those of you that know me, that should be no surprise to you. And the answer is C, Caucus Club. She started there in the spring of 1961. So a little before my time, but apparently she did pretty well because she had a pretty good career after that. All right, can you believe it? 3 more questions in the book. That means we're going to take a look at this leaderboard. In third place, we've got Will McDowell. Oh, someone's cracking a beer. Third place is Will McDowell, 500 points. Second place is Sammy Barbour with 575 points. Sorry, Sammy, if I'm saying that wrong. In first place is Baby Houseman with 776 points. This baby sure knows his Detroit trivia. All right, you guys ready to get back to the action? Because whether or not you are, we're going to. Going on to question 10. What Detroit high school did Jack White attend? Was it A, Cass Tech? Was it B, Western International? Was it C, Detroit School of Arts? Or was it D, University of Detroit? All fine schools within the city. Do you know the answer? Maybe yes, maybe no, maybe so. Well, if you do, you know that the answer is A, Cass Tech. Jack White grew up in southwest Detroit and even paid for Clark Park to be revitalized. And if you didn't know that, then you don't know Jack White. Facts. Moving on. Question 11. In what year did Little Caesars first offer their $5 hot and ready pizzas? Was it A, 1996, B, 1999, C, 1997, or D, 2001? Hot and ready, Detroit's own. Little Caesars, known for their pizza, their crazy bread. Which one is it? The correct answer is C, 1997. Those of you that have known me for a while now know that I worked at Little Caesars pretty much all throughout high school. And I remember when my location, this was after 97, but my location switched to carrying the hot and ready, and it went from like the easiest job ever to working in a Parmesan-coated hell. All right, on to question 12. Almost done with this first game, can you believe it? What Detroit street has a section known as the Avenue of Fashion? Is it A, Livernois? Is it B, Jefferson? Is it C, Michigan? Or is it D, Woodward? Do you know your streets? Do you know your fashion? Either one might help you know the answer to this one. If you don't know either, go ahead and guess. Why not? It's a free country. For now. The answer is A, Livernois. The stretch between 7 and 8 Mile, to be exact, is known as the Avenue of Fashion. Became known that during the 50s and is still known that to this day. And there's still some fantastic shops there. Be sure to check them out. I'm not sure if they're open right now, but maybe some of them are doing curbside. But either way, definitely support the small businesses that are along the Avenue of Fashion. All right, into the home stretch here. From here on out, we'll be checking that leaderboard after every question to keep you up on who's doing great, who's doing not so great. The city of Hamtramck is named for Jean-François Hamtramck, a veteran of the American Revolution. What was the highest rank he achieved? Was it A, general? Was it B, major? Was it C, private? Or was it D, colonel? So, do you know your military? Do you know your Hamtramck? Hamtramck's a great little town surrounded by Detroit, some great food there. And the answer is D, colonel. Another Revolutionary War hero. His remains were actually moved to Hamtramck in the 1960s, and people say on quiet nights you can hear him walking around the streets of Hamtramck, colonelling, on to checking out the leaderboard here. All right, so looks like things have not changed too much. Robbie Lynn's right behind there in 4th place, but in 3rd place you've got Will McDowell, 728 points. In 2nd place with 754 points is Sammy Barbour. And in 1st place is Baby Houseman, still just running away with it here. But keep in mind, we do have that second game, so if you can't catch this very intelligent baby in game 1, perhaps it'll be his bedtime by game 2. All right, last 2 questions here. You guys ready? Because here we go. What county is directly south of Wayne County? Is it A, Monroe? Is it B, Livingston? Is it C, Washtenaw? Or is it D, Oakland? So, do you know your counties? Are you a geography bee champion? You know who I'm talking to. And if you are, you probably know the answer is A, Monroe. Monroe County, famously home to the Lazy Boy headquarters and people who drive to Ohio to buy gas. Although I'm not sure they're doing that today because the gas is crazy cheap, even in Michigan. All right, so before we go to our last clue of game 1, let's take one last look at this leaderboard, see if anything has changed. Not too much. 4th place, just out of the money, is Robbie Lynn with Canada, went by too fast. In 3rd place is Will McDowell, 818 points. In 2nd place is Sammy Barbour with 839 points. And 1st place is that darn Baby Houseman, 1,150 points. All right, final question. Can we shake up this leaderboard? Maybe, maybe not. Question 15. In what year was the current St. Anne Church building built? Was it A, 1701? Was it B, 1886? Was it C, 1805? Or was it D, 1904? St. Anne Church, the 2nd oldest parish, Catholic parish in the country. Not going to give any more clues because that kind of helps you. Or does it? The answer is B, 1886. The building is right down the street from me. Definitely check it out sometime if you've never seen it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I highly recommend checking it out. All right, believe it or not, that is the end of game 1. Let's see who our winners are. All right, in 3rd place, taking home that $5 gift certificate to Boro Resale is Will McDowell. 2nd place, taking home that Boro gift certificate and Golden Fleece gift certificate is Sammy Barbour. And in 1st place, taking home both gift certificates and a free walking tour, assuming this baby knows how to walk at this point, is Baby Houseman. All right, so before we move on to game 2, we're going to try a little something new from last week. So some of you, I can tell, I can't really read it from here, but some of you are participating in the chat already. But now we're going to do a little segment that we like to call Ask John, where I'm going to look at the chat here, and I'm going to answer any questions you ask me. Let's try and keep it PG-13 because I'm almost certain that my mother is watching at home. All right. Anybody want to ask a question? And Tara Good, yes, I worked at the Laurel Park location, and whoever said 5 Mile Metal Belt is also correct. I worked at both because I was too much for just one Little Caesars to handle. What's my favorite takeout place open right now? That is such a good question. Bucharest, I'm not going to do just one, but Bucharest is up there. Golden Fleece, of course, is up there. There's a place in Hamtramck called Balkan House, which does a doner kebab, which is fantastic. Buddies is around, Jets is around, all these things. So Tara Good and JD both asked, similar questions. One says, how old are you? And ASL, so the answer to that is 34M Detroit. Justin Bookmeyer asks, what is swamp ape like? And I'll answer that with docile, docile, docile. Tara, no need to apologize. Hannah can ask all the questions she wants. What's with the banana? I'm proving that you can have a banana in your pocket and be happy to see people. Question is, where is Charlie? Charlie is asleep on the couch because I gave him a bunch of walks today so he wouldn't be running around while I was trying to do this show. How is Charlie? Good, he's asleep. So, I think that's enough questions for now. I don't see any other ones coming in. So we are going to move on to game 2. Are you guys ready? Ready or not? Here we go. Question 1. Whose fist is there a statue of at the intersection of Woodward and Jefferson? Is it A, Vladimir Klitschko, B, Joe Louis, C, One Punch Man, or D, Kwame Kilpatrick? Know your fists? Do you know your intersections? This one's kind of easy. There's a couple jokes in there, at least I hope you know their jokes. But the answer is B, Joe Louis. It's a replica of Brown Bomber's arm, actually. 1 inch to 1 foot is the scale they used to expand it. Although the Klitschko was in there by design because he actually did train in Detroit quite a bit at Kronk Gym. All right, moving into question 2. DC Comics' John Stewart was fictionally from Detroit. What was his superhero's name? Was it A, Green Lantern, B, Green Hornet, C, Green Arrow, or D, Green Goblin? So John Stewart with an H, so not John Stewart from Daily Show. John Stewart from The Daily Show spells John with no H, the correct way to spell it. So the answer is A, Green Lantern. John Stewart took over for Hal Jordan as the Green Lantern for Earth in the 1980s. And a fun fact about John Stewart with an H is his original character was modeled after actor Sidney Poitier. Now we're going to move to the next question before someone corrects my pronunciation of Poitier. Question 3. What is the name of the Lions' feline mascot? Is it A, Growly? Is it B, Rory? Is it C, Hurry? Or is it D, Mediocrity? Good names there in case they ever decide to change it. I'd be happy to let them use it for free. But the correct answer for right now is B, Rory. These days, we'd be happy with mediocrity. This is our year, though, right, guys? Guys? All right, that's the first 3 questions of Game 2 in the books. Let's take a look at our first peek at the leaderboard. Oh, we got some news names in here. Anna Silverstein in 3rd place with 265 points. My boy Omar, he's one of my good friends. I'm not going to even try and pronounce his last name. Iftikhar. And 1st place, a familiar face here, Will McDowell with 290 points. Really anybody's game here. All right, let's get on to question 4. What are the ingredients of a traditional Boston cooler? Is it A, vanilla ice cream and chocolate ice cream? Is it B, vanilla ice cream and rock and rye? Is it C, vanilla ice cream and ginger ale? Or is it D, vanilla ice cream and beer? Those all actually sound pretty good right now, but only one of them can be the correct answer, and that is C, vanilla ice cream and ginger ale. If you are wondering why a Detroit favorite like the Boston Cooler is called a Boston Cooler, it's because it was first introduced at a shop at the corner of Boston and Woodward in the Boston Edison district of Detroit. So that's how it became known as a Boston Cooler, not a Detroit cooler. So the more you know. On to question 5. During Prohibition, what did Stroh's produce in lieu of beer? Is it A, potato chips? Is it B, beef jerky? Is it C, ice cream? Or is it D, hot fudge? Again, a lot of delicious things. All those go pretty well with beer, I would say, for the most part. But the answer is C, ice cream. I do wonder if anybody's ever put Stroh's ice cream in Stroh beers, but who am I kidding? I'm sure somebody has at some point. But maybe it's something I'll try in the future. All right, on to question 6. Which of these TV shows was not set in the Detroit area? Was it A, Sister Sister? Was it B, Martin? Was it C, Family Matters? Or was it D, Home Improvement? These are all favorites of mine growing up. If you're around my age at all, they're probably favorites of yours as well. I hope you know the answer. Is C, Chicago, which was set in Chicago. I'm sorry, C, Family Matters, which was set in Chicago. It's free trivia, guys. You got to give me a little credit here. Getting this wrong makes you a Steve Urkel. Getting it right makes you a Stefan Urkel. Remember how handsome he was when he came out of that box? So cool. All right, that's 6 questions in the book. Let's take a look at our leaderboard here, see if anything's changed. Oh, a little shake-up with the top 3. Baby Houseman, still out of the crib. 3rd place, 504 points. 2nd place, Anna Silverstein, still doing well, 525 points. My boy Will McDowell, no surprise here, made his way to the top of the leaderboard, 541 points. Great scores, but all pretty close and all manageable to see some changes here in the future. But now, on to question 7. How many women are there on the seal of the city of Detroit? Is it A, 5? Is it B, 3? Is it C, 4? Or is it D, 2? Lots of numbers there. They're all integers, some of them prime. None of these things have anything to do with the question, though. Certainly doesn't help you to know that the answer is D, 2, but not the Mighty Ducks.
Quack.
Quack, 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 quack. All right, question 8. What yearly community festival takes place in Cass Corridor the first Saturday after Labor Day? Is it A, the Woodward Dream Cruise? Is it B, Dally in the Alley? Is it C, Jazz Festival? Or is it D, Marche du Nez Rouge? All fun festivals. Actually, I don't think I've ever been to the Woodward Dream Cruise. It seems like there's a lot of traffic involved. The original festival started in 1977 and has been a great source for fun, yet hazy memories for Detroiters ever since. WXYZ is the 2nd oldest station in Michigan. It actually was a radio station before that, but the TV station was in 1948, which makes it 72, and it's looking pretty good for 72, I'd say, but not as good as my 72-year-old mother who's watching at home. Hi, Mom, again. And let's go on, take a look at these leaderboards after question 9 here. Still the same 3, but a mix-up. Baby Houseman has been dethroned, kicked out of the high chair. Anna Silverstein's now in first place with 806 points. Baby Houseman, 768. Will McDowell, 741. Very tight there in the top of the board. These other ones are going by really fast, so I'm assuming you guys are all doing great. At least in my book, you are. Let's go to question 10. Which city elected the first Muslim-majority city council? Was it A, Grosse Pointe Shores? Was it B, Dearborn? Was it C, Hamtramck? Or was it D, Dearborn Heights? One of those is a joke. I'm sure you couldn't tell by the way I read it. Try to keep a straight face, but I couldn't. The answer is C, Hamtramck. A lot of Hamtramck going on today. So many people still associate Hamtramck with people of Polish heritage, but in reality, the city has become incredibly diverse. Actually, for its size, I think it's considered one of the, if not the most diverse cities in the world, with over 30 languages being spoken. Also, on a side note, to all of my Muslim friends watching out there, I'd just like to say Ramadan Mubarak. The sun is down. Hopefully you're enjoying your iftar, and hopefully you save some of that delicious food for me, because I am hungry. If only I had a snack ready to go. All right, question 11, getting towards the end of game 2 here. Which of these is not a brand of automobiles under General Motors, or was not a brand, I should say? Is it A, Mercury? Is it B, Saab? Is it C, Oldsmobile? Or is it D, Oakland? These all used to be under General Motors, not necessarily anymore. One of them is not one of those things that I just said. And that one is A, Mercury. Mercury was made by Ford until they dropped it because it went in retrograde one too many times. That joke brought to you by Sarah. All right, question 12. Again, home stretch here. All right, well, this one I'll see who's following me on Instagram and Facebook. What Detroit street follows the Great Sauk Trail, a Native American trail? Is it A, Woodward? Is it B, Jefferson? Is it C, 8 Mile? Or is it D, Michigan? Again, this is one of those ones I gave a clue to on social media, so if you don't follow us on social media, like us on Instagram or whatever, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and you might have a better chance of knowing that the correct answer is D, Michigan. All right, we are moving on to question 13. How many NBA championships have the Pistons won? Is it A, 2? Is it B, 1? Is it C, 5? Or is it D, 3? I've been watching a lot of these old games on Fox Sports Detroit. If you have too, it's been fun walking down memory lane. Some of the early ones are a little before my time. And if you have been watching, you'd probably know that you can count the Bad Boys back-to-backs and the Going to Work era. So back-to-backs and the Going to Work era win in 2004, making the correct answer D, 3. Speaking of the Going to Work era, I am still mad about the Chauncey Billups trade. We received Allen Iverson, who was one of my favorite players growing up, but while he was in Detroit, I would say his most impressive stat is the fact that he got banned from all 3 Detroit casinos, which I'm not sure if you've been to the Detroit casinos, but they don't exactly have like some high standard for patrons. All right, before we get into the final few questions here, we're going to take a look at this leaderboard. And again, we're going to do this after every question starting now. So, Baby Houseman must be getting a little time for nappy time because it keeps dropping down. Third place, 1,027 points. Second place is Andy Lobster Bisky. Hopefully those crawfish have been put to bed. That's 1,042 points. And in first place, the man with the plan, Will McDowell, with 1,065 points. Very close. Only, less than 40 points separating third place from first place. So it really is anybody's game here. And let's move on. Question 14. How deep is Lake St. Clair? Is it A, 208 feet? Is it B, 97 feet? Is it C, 27 feet? Or is it D, 318 feet? Lake St. Clair is what the Detroit River connects to Lake Erie. It's just on the far side of Belle Isle. And it is only C, 27 feet deep, which is a fact that always never ceases to amaze me because the lake's pretty big surface area-wise. It is 430 square miles, but it's only 27 feet deep. I'm thinking that its lack of depth is why, even though it's a very good lake, it's never been considered a great lake. Get it? All right, let's take a look at our leaderboard before we go into our last question. Looks like, Andy Lobster Bisky has hooked his claws into first place with 1,134 points. Second place, Baby Houseman. Apparently I woke up there, hopped over Will McDowell, who's bringing up third place with 1,065 points. Good job, guys. Still, anybody can get in there and make something happen, though. You never know. The Mighty Ducks can beat Iceland. You guys can make a comeback. Last question here of game 2. Last question of the night, actually. You guys ready? I can't hear you. You ready? Yell at the screen. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Question 15. Which Detroit neighborhood has the annual St. Patty's Day parade? Is it A, Midtown? Is it B, Corktown? Is it C, Downtown? Or is it D, Top of the Morning Town?
Oh, Top of the Morning Town.
Top of the Morning Town to you. Now that we are done making potentially racist caricatures of the Irish people, let's find out this correct answer, which is, of course, hopefully you know this, B, Corktown. All right, let's see how we ended up with game 2 here. Any changes? Looks like things stayed the same from our last check-in. In third place, taking home another gift certificate to Boro Resale is Will McDowell. In second place, taking home the gift certificate to Boro Resale and Golden Fleece is Baby Houseman. Hopefully that baby likes Greek food. And in first place, taking home both gift certificates and a free walking tour is Andy Lobster Bisky. All right, well, thank you for joining us in just our second week of Urban Peel Trivia. We're going to continue to keep getting better. Hopefully you guys can get better as well. Be sure. I'm just kidding. You did great. You did great. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, on Twitter. We're at Urban Peel Tours. I'd like to give a big shout out to Nick and Sarah for helping out behind the camera and loving that salsa thing I've been up to lately. Also a huge shout out to Jessica Bondolapati and Lady Bondo. I do know you're a consultancy. Hopefully you thought that was funny. If not, too late. Big shout out to Golden Fleece for their contribution of the gift certificates, and a big shout out to Boro Resale for providing not only the gift certificates, but also this sweet outfit. Now, those of you that watched last week are thinking, John, isn't that the same outfit? You just took the jacket off? And the answer is, I'll never tell, but you should tell your friends, your family, your enemies, anybody you know to join us next week. We're going to do every Thursday, 8 p.m., set your clocks, right, mark it on your calendar. If you use a sundial, why do you do that? But mark that as well. So, until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and oh yeah, bananas are hard to open. Shit, stay hungry. Oh yeah. See you guys.